Because many asked to discuss the way of manipulation, like Light Yagami from Deathnote, or maybe his mindset as a whole. So, in this video, we will discuss how Light Yagami does his manipulation, how he thinks, and also how he can get everything he wants. Warning: this video is for educational purposes only. The information provided should not be used to harm others and/or for personal gain. Deathnote is a Japanese manga series written by Tsugumi Oba and illustrated by Takeshi Obata, and then adapted into an anime series in 2006. Deathnote is one of the smartly written and very good shows. This show is one of my favorite series that I often rewatch again and again, because in addition to being exciting, but there are also many new insights that can be obtained every time I rewatch. The Deathnote story begins when Light Yagami finds a mysterious notebook that falls into his school field. The Deathnote instructions state that if someone's name is written in the book, that person must die. Light, like most people, doesn't believe in such a thing, but he eventually brought it home, and then made some experiments and realized that the Deathnote was real. Light Yagami is known as someone who is talented, hardworking, and genius, very perceptive, and has very good problem-solving skills. He is very good at making plans and organizing all existing scenarios. Additionally, Light is very popular among his friends and is praised by his family. During the series, it can be seen that Light Yagami has above-average intelligence. He is very smart in everything and has very good strategic thinking to get what he wants. To see his manipulation skills, let's break down one of the manipulative and intense scenes in the Deathnote series.
キラ事件に関する重要なことなんです。
キラ事件の？
じゃあもう一度本部に電話してみますから。
刑事局八神総一郎の息子ライトです。父の着替えなんですがいないようですし預かってもらえますか？
ああ、ライト君久しぶり。
すみません。
ほら、去年ライト君の助言で解決した保険金殺人事件。あの時も僕ここで受付して。
そうでしたか。
This was intentional. Light didn't forget. This action was intended to get the receptionist to introduce him, to create some sort of social proof to expose his abilities to Naomi, the woman, that he's a person with good qualities.
やっぱり本部には誰もいませんね。少しは信用してくださいよ。ちゃんと私から伝えますので。
ダメなんです。直接でなければ。
僕の父はキラ事件の本部長ですから、もしよければ取り次ぎましょうか。
Light, offering help to build a relationship and trust.
携帯切ってるみたいなので、今すぐとはいきませんが、FBI の人が殺されて、ここの本部でもキラを恐れやめる者が続出し、ゴタゴタしてるんだと思います。
ライト君、そういうことは一般の人には。
もう世間では噂になってることですよ。それにこの人は信用できる。目を見ればわかります。賢明で慎重な人です。
These words contain the law of barter. When someone tells us that they trust us, our response is usually to trust them back.
FBI の事件で日本の警察内部にも問題があることが分かった。
Light here also told information that shouldn't be told to others, but she didn't give her father's number to help Naomi, which was suspicious.
それにしてもあなたは勇気がありますね。キラ事件に関わろうとするなんて。
In this case, Light needed answers. Why would this woman dare to get into a dangerous case like this? So, he turned his question into a statement to avoid being suspected.
いえ。
あなたの考えではキラは一応お名前を聞かせてもらえますか？僕は八神ライト。夜の神に月と書いてライトと読ませるんです。変わってるでしょ？
He says his name, and curiously, his name is written to make Naomi say her name too. Again, the law of barter.
牧翔子です。間、樹木の木にテラスに子供の子です。
牧さんですね。牧さん、僕が考えているキラの力というのは、キラが人を殺す前にその行動を操れるってことです。
Light says this to find out how much Naomi already knows.
私も同じことを考えていたんです。キラは死の前の行動を操れる。 それだけじゃない。私の考えが正しければキラは心臓麻痺以外でも人を殺せる。
何なんだこの女。
多分まだ誰も気づいてない。でもこのことを前提にすればキラは捕まると思ってます。
そこまでは僕も考えたことはなかった。
He said an indirect compliment by saying that she was not even aware of it. It will make Naomi feel herself superior, and this makes her easier to instigate.
でもそうだとすればキラが本当に隠したい殺人は心臓麻痺以外で行う。
はい、私の知り合いが多分キラに会ってます。
キラに失礼。キラに会ってるなんて確かに警察に行っても信じてもらえないです。
Light tries to disagree with everything Naomi says, so as not to make him look suspicious.
はい、だからこそ捜査本部の方に筋道を立てて詳しく説明したいんです。
しかしそれなら会った本人が話した方がいいのでは。
その人はもうこの世にいません。日本に入った FBI 捜査官の一人でしたから。
バスジャック犯の死に方が心臓麻痺でない。だからキラが心臓麻痺以外でも殺せると。
Light, validating his opinion to make it look like he was just curious and had no other intentions.
はい。 はい。
実はまだ言ってなかったことがあって。
はい。
あなたが本部の人に直接話をすることは不可能なんです。
Light manipulated Naomi to make Light tell the truth, which was a lie prepared by Light that he was a member of the task force.
この女案外鋭いぜ。
仕方ない。話しましょう。僕も捜査本部の一員だからです。
ん？
あなたが捜査本部の一員？
はい。今捜査本部の指揮はエルが取っています。
はい、私もそう思っています。
エルは本部の人員不足に困っていた。キラを恐れ皆辞めていったからです。僕はまだ高校生ですが、過去に2件の事件を警察に助言し解決に導きました。
じゃあそれを買われて。
好きな時に捜査本部に出入りし自由に捜査することを認められて。
He said what he was allowed to do, so no suspicion should be raised when he made his final request. He's made one solid truth to cover a lot of lies.
つまり今本部にいる者は信用ができ、その能力を認められた少数の選ばれた人間だけの捜査集団なんです。
In here, Light says what qualities the task force team has to create an image of the team that Naomi might be able to fill in later, because Light intended to get her into the task force.
もしかしたら会ってくれるかもしれません。
え？
パソコン越しにその声に従っただけですが、私も2年前にアメリカのある事件でエルの下で働いたことがあるんです。
エルの下で働いた？
つい3ヶ月前まで私も FBI の捜査官でしたから。
これだ。これを利用するんだ。そうだったんですか。道理でキラーを追う姿勢や行動が素人とは違うと思っていました。確信に迫りながらも常に慎重で賢明だ。僕も見習いたいです。
Light makes the student-teacher dynamic here, once again making Naomi feel superior.
正直に言います。あなたにはエルに似たもの、近いものを感じたんです。
一緒に捜査しませんか？
え？
あなたも捜査本部の一員になりませんか？もちろん誰でもいいわけじゃない。そう、あなたのような人が必要なんです。あなたは一般情報提供者にとどまる存在じゃない。元 FBI 捜査官というキャリアがあり、その資質は現役の捜査官以上だ。
Not everyone can do that. We need you.
かつては L の信用も得ていた。捜査本部に入る条件はしっかりした身分証明と今捜査本部にいる者の推薦、そして L の許可だけです。
私が捜査本部に。
ここであなたに会えたのも何かの運命だ。
This is all just fate. Light didn't organize it all. Light made her think that Light would be honored if she was the one to recommend him to the task force.
すみません。つい興奮してしまって。
Light made a step back so as not to look too suspicious.
いえ、
いくら好きな時にだけ捜査に協力すればいいとはいえ、人には都合がありますからね。ましてアメリカにお住まいなのでは。
Light created a distance between himself and Naomi. This is meant to make Naomi feel that there are options she can choose from. In fact, Light has managed everything.
この春彼と結婚した後、ずっとアメリカにいる予定でした。でも彼が死んでしまって、自分でもこれからどうしていいのか。
よし、ここまで来たらもう少し引いて。しかしまだお若くてお綺麗な方だ。こんな危険な捜査には。
いえ、私には捨てるものは何もありません。キラを捕まえたい。その気持ち以外は何もないんです。一緒に捜査させてください。
In Naomi's eyes, Elle and Light have similarities. If Light is a friend of Elle, then Light means a good, trustworthy, and loyal person. Naomi trusted him because she knew Elle and had worked with him. And this Light knows Elle and works with him too, meaning he must be a good person.
よかった。では身分証明になるものだけ見せてもらえますか。はい。
実はさっき名乗った名前、本当の名前ではないんです。ごめんなさい。
大丈夫ですよ。そこまでしていたとは。あなたはやっぱりすごい人です。僕よりも一枚上手だ。このこともあなたの評価を高めますよ。
日本の免許証でよろしいですか。
はい。
Light Yagami repeatedly performs his manipulations and games in this series, showing how good he is. He made the police and Elle separated and reduced their power by making them distrust each other more and more. When all of Light movements are recorded by Elle, he can pretend to be studying and eating chips. However, he was writing down the names of the criminals he heard on mini TV, which were on the chips. Yes, the iconic scene. He manipulated Ray Penber to kill all the FBI agents by writing on a Deathnote. He killed Kyusuke Higuchi by writing his name on the Deathnote he had prepared in his watch quickly. He manipulated Rem to kill Elle and Watari. He manipulated Misa Amane and Kiyomi Takada to kill people for him, including killing Mello. Light was never the hero of this story. He is like evil and ruthless. Light is indeed the protagonist of Deathnote, but he is not a hero. The more we see his character, the more we wonder if this person was ever good. Has he ever been a genuine person during his life? Lying is common and important in this series, but Light Yagami, he doesn't just lie to everyone to get what he wanted, but also lied to himself. Light never cared about making a better world. He just wanted to be God. He wants to be a person of great impact because he's bored with his everyday life. He wanted something exciting, something to keep him active. He lied to everyone and himself that he wants to change the world. But all he really wants is power and authority. When Light killed innocent people, he said it was a necessary sacrifice for the new world. But for someone who cares so much about justice, killing people should be a very difficult and painful act, even if they feel it is an important thing to do. But Light didn't. Light smiled. He smiled with all the killing he did to innocent people. Ray Penber, Naomi Misora, all the FBI agents, all the cops, and even Elle. Light smiled. He savored the moment when he defeated them all. He loved that feeling. The strength, the power, the feeling of being invincible, unstoppable. He didn't kill because it was important, but he killed because of his ego. Light thinks everyone is a pawn in his chess game. He is smart, academically excellent, athletic, popular, and he knows it. Because of that, he feels he is special and superior, and that leads to his delusions. That's what makes him delusional. He feels he is the only person who deserves to get and use the Deathnote. Light's biggest problem is his arrogance. His ego is very high. All his mistakes are based on this. In the last episode, he didn't even realize and understand the concept of defeat. He feels that everyone is a fool compared to himself. It was his arrogance that made him fall. But that's also the reason why he takes the Deathnote. It was the reason he could do what he did and achieve what he achieved. Light Yagami never realized his weaknesses that came from his ego, because even until the end, he didn't feel that he had an ego. Light believed that everything he did was for the benefit of the world. And that's what he used himself for. He changed the world. He helps the world. He does anything to achieve his goals. That's what allows him to do everything. A high ego, a high sense of competitiveness, and also the lies he tells himself. It's all what keeps him motivated. It makes him very motivated and focused. And that is also his biggest problem. Before episode 2, where L defeated Light, all L had was a hunch that there was someone behind all the dead criminals, and that person might be in Japan is all he has, nothing more. But Light's ego is very high. He accepted the bait. L came to know that there was one person responsible for all the murders, and not only did he know that the person was in Japan, but specifically in the Kanto region. And he knew that this person could kill at a distance, probably because his name and face were visible. After Light realized that he was being played, he decided to challenge L and made even more mistakes. First, he never changed the time of death until the police figured out the pattern. Second, he demonstrated the capabilities of the Deathnote with his experiment. Third, and most importantly, he accessed police information that made the scope of suspects even smaller. Here, L already knew that Light Yagami was Kira. That's why he went to see her by attending the same college. All L needed was stronger proof. If only Light hadn't done anything, if he hadn't tried to eliminate L, if he didn't have that competitive streak, there wouldn't have been any suspicion of Light. And the police probably wouldn't have used so many moves, expended so much energy, because they were chasing something they weren't sure existed. The only reason the Deathnote is known is because Light is so competitive, and doesn't want anyone else to beat him. His ego is very high. But back to the starting point, this may be his weakness. But unconsciously, this is also what makes him have a very high focus and motivation. Plus his lies to himself, making him obsessed with his dreams, 100% focused on his dreams. At the end of the series, we can see that he initially saw Kira as a representation of the dark desires of the public, the wish that there was someone to punish the criminals. But in the end, he became Kira himself. He becomes someone who does not judge himself by the same moral standards as he does others. He believed that he was the only person capable of creating a perfect world. In the end, he became so corrupted that he believed whatever he said was the right things. He believed that he was the god of the new world he was creating. He thought he was specially chosen to use the Deathnote. We know that's not true. Light has never been a god or had moral standards that exceed others. He was never specially chosen to use the Deathnote. He got the book by chance and used the opportunity to realize his wish. The lies he told himself continually allowed him to motivate himself and keep his sanity. But that's also what made his downfall. Lying is a main theme in the Deathnote series, but Light, not only deceiving others but also deceiving himself, lied to himself. He is no longer based on the reality that exists, and makes him sink into believing something that is not him. Dishonest to himself, when he feels that killing criminals is not a crime, it was justice, even though he didn't give them a chance to penetrate their crimes. He didn't realize that what he was doing was also killing. He is not God, but just a chain killer. Nothing less, nothing more. The next question is, was Light Yagami like this from the beginning? Or is it the Deathnote that makes him like this? Many say that Light was a narcissistic psychopath from the beginning, and the existence of the Deathnote only made him become like that faster. If the book never existed, He would probably be a detective who keeps trying to be L's rival because of his status. And he probably would have gotten bored right away, because what he did had little impact on the world. He might have become the leader of a secret criminal organization that worked like the Deathnote until L caught him. With the continuous use of the Deathnote, Light slowly developed his cold and cruel nature. He will do anything to get what he wants. The series shows that Light was not born without mercy. After releasing the Deathnote and losing his memory to avoid suspicion, Light shows compassion. He has never manipulated others and would never kill another person. But there is something inside him that feels agreeable to what Kira is doing. In the first episode, we can see that Light is actually a narcissist. Although he never got his hands on the Deathnote, he has excelled in all the things that are highly valued in society. He is popular, smart, intuitive, good-looking, competitive, and talented in all aspects, which creates his superiority complex. The Deathnote gives her the opportunity to realize a desire more quickly. The power of the Deathnote makes Light's sense of superiority more likely because he keeps getting what he wants. He keeps winning and keeps getting away with the crimes committed. No wonder Light continues to make his dark nature and arrogance continue to grow, as the Deathnote gives Light the opportunity to explore a side of himself that he might not have been able to achieve so quickly if there was no Deathnote. Light Yagami has always had this sense of superiority. He has always had a big ego. This is what makes him obsess over his goals and have a high motivation and focus. He is a psychopath who has a mindset of not wanting to lose. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit that like button and smash the subscribe for more. Remember, the fun doesn't stop here. Check out our other videos for more exciting content. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring. See you in the next video. Thank you.